Okay, today we have some Marvel's Rivals. I thought I would change it up a little bit, and I think I go ham. I don't play a lot of it, but I went absolutely ham in this video. Anyway, enjoy, and let's talk about how Australia is in a really good position right now, and you should be thanking your lucky stars you get to live in such a beautiful country, is what I would be saying. But no, we're definitely not talking about that today. As you all probably know, if you're over the age of 18, even if you're between 16 and 18, you probably know that we just got a brand new government in, and it's the Labor government. The Labor government is really good for the average, not average, is really good for the below average poor person. When I say poor, I don't mean like a bum. I just mean like you don't have a really high paying job and you don't own a business. So traditionally, what a Liberal government does is there's generally more rebates, a little bit more tax relief, and a little bit more money in your pocket. Generally speaking, there's not as much free stuff, but there's more money in your pocket, so you can sort of choose how you want to spend your money. Labor, on the other hand, tends to just tax you as much as they legally, well, not even as much as they legally can. They can literally make up the law. Labor, on the other hand, just taxes you as much as they can and spends as much money as they can, but tries to give you everything for free. So that's kind of the basis on what we're working on here, all right? So I do have a script in front of me, but I don't really think I need it too much, but it is going to be there if I need it. So the new Labor government got in. Liberal guy was Dutton. Now, Dutton lost that bad that he's no longer in any political seat whatsoever. He will be getting paid like $300,000 a year for the rest of his life. How amazing is that? But he is no longer has a political seat. I might add, he had probably, I'm like as liberal as they get. But even I didn't want to vote for Dutton because he was shit. So that's probably why. Even though Albanese was no better, he's a fucking moron in my opinion. But anyway, let's talk about it. Let's dive into it. It's about a 14-minute video. We're 2 minutes in, so we're going to let 10 minutes to go. So we voted Labor back in, right? If you're trying to save, trying to start a business, or just live without the government constantly in your pocket, good luck. The version of Labor that our parents had and the version of Labor now is very different. Your income, your spending, your future, they want to say, they want to have control over all of it. So the Labor government at the moment are taxing everything. Your income, your spending, your investments, even the idea of putting money aside for the future, that's potentially going to be taxed too. Right now, maybe you're earning $100K a year. But if Labor gets their way, don't be surprised if it feels like you're handing over $60,000 to $70,000 a year in taxes, because that's the direction we're heading in. You'll just have enough to live, and that's exactly what they want. So what the Labor government wants us to do is, if they could, right, and we're seeing it in Victoria, right? I want to just quickly touch on something, right? Victoria, if you live in Victoria over the age of 18 and have any sort of money, right? There are currently 24 taxes, potentially more, all right? I'm going to read you every single tax, federal taxes, so this is Australia-wide, right? Personal income tax, Medicare levy tax, goods and services tax, capital gains tax, company tax, fringe benefits tax, superannuation tax, excise duties, custom duties, luxury car tax, wine equalization tax, and there are probably other taxes. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, potentially 15 taxes federally. That's Australia-wide. Now, you might not have to pay all of them, depending on what you do and who you are and stuff like that, but there are currently probably, say, 15 taxes. Australia. Now, Victoria, on top of that, right? Payroll tax, land tax, vacant residential land tax, stamp duty, commercial and industrial property tax, gambling tax, motor vehicle tax, insurance tax, fire service property levy, short stay levy, congestion and car parking levy, windfall gains tax, emergency services and volunteer fund levy, mental health and well-being levy, COVID debt levies, and other ones. Overall, if you live in Victoria, you are paying almost 30 taxes. And Labor just increased on both a state and a federal, increased every single tax that you pay. So tell me how in, say, 3 to 5 years, or even 10 years if they win again, tell me how in 5 years you can't afford to vote Labor out, because if you do, another party needs time to remove these taxes, and that period of time where they don't is just going to kill every living Australian and Victorian more specifically, right? No chance, right? So what is Labor like? Labor wants you to pay 80% of your wage, if not, say 60 to 80% of your wage, your salary, your income. They want you to pay that in taxes, and they will give you everything for free. Free schooling, free healthcare, free houses if they can, right? They'll anything, rebates on food. If you shop at Coles and Woolies, we'll make I have a video either released or about to be released with them, and you'll shop there and they'll give you a rebate if you shop at Coles and Woolies. Coles and Woolies can charge whatever they want for food now. Oh, the government giving a rebate. Let's charge $15 for a loaf of fucking bread, right? It is about to get very hard to live in Australia, and specifically even more so Victoria. Especially yesterday, the Labor government in Victoria just announced even more taxes starting next year, right? You will be taxed every single dollar you earn. You want to go buy a game? I don't know if I can this year. Let's see what tax refund I get. Maybe I can buy 2 games. Want to buy a new computer? Forget about it, mate. Want to buy a new phone? No chance. The government is going to take your money. All of it, right? They want to tax unrealized gains. Now, if you don't know what that is, a tax on unrealized gains. Norway dabbled in this, mainly for inheritance and a few specific cases. So Norway decided to tax unrealized gains, right? Norway unrealized gains tax. Now, Norway tried to do it, and apparently, when they did try and do this unrealized gain tax, it backfired massively on the government. Massively, right? They lost billions of dollars from what I've heard, right? Now, I did fact check this in a post that I saw on X. So 100 of the top 400 taxpayers left the country. $84 billion in wealth left the country. The tax hike lost $700 million in annual revenue. Billionaires moved to Switzerland. Entrepreneurs sold or gutted their own companies just to pay tax. And it made their GDP fall, their venture capital fell, and every higher household debt, right? So that's what your Australian government wants to do here now. Right, Labor. Listen, we're all specifically talking about Labor. Labor wants to tax. Now they want to. It's another new one which has been massive. They want to tax super balances over $3 million. Right, you're getting hit with a 15% tax on paper gains, even if you don't sell right now. It only affects 0.5% of Aussies, but let's be honest, it's just a start of what they can get away with. So this new superannuation tax essentially means, if you have $1 over 3 million. So if you have 3 million and $1, they will take 15 cents out of that $1. So you'll have 3,075,000 cents, right? So it's not that big of a deal when you consider you've already got $3 million in super, and it really only affects, as you just heard, 0.5% of Australians. But they're handing out free healthcare, free education, subsidies left and right. What's really happening is they're bleeding the middle class dry. You're being taxed at every single turn, and once they're done with income tax, here comes GST, land tax, stamp duty, payroll, motor, insurance, fire, short stay, levy. The list just never ends. $100 today is probably only worth you go to work and you make $100. Imagine going to work and your boss gives you $100 and goes, "Hey, John, thanks for working. Here's your pay, $100. I've just got to take out $80, right? And you can have that $20 and go buy petrol and go buy food and go take your family out to dinner, right? Fuck me dead." And if you're trying to build something on your own, a bakery, a barber, a lawn care business, don't even bother. The environment for small business is cooked. Sure, they'll wave around some $2 billion support package, but then they turn around and get instant asset write-off from $20K to a measly $1K. That's not support. That's a fucking killer. The big picture here, they don't want entrepreneurs, they don't want independence, they want everyone on the same train, going to the same government approved stations. You'll work, you'll spend where they tell you to, and they'll take a slice of it all. It's a state-run economy disguised as support. This isn't about making things fairer, it's about locking people in, less choice, more rules, and a slow grind on anything that gives you a bit of freedom over your own money or your own path. Australia's heading for a place where the only success story is the one that fits their framework, and if you're not on board with that, too bad. The tax system will make sure you stay in line. What do you guys reckon? All right, so in an essence, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for whoever made it this far, the Labor government that Australia has voted in is not here to support you. As much as a lot of people think they are, they're not here to make your life easier. They're here to spend as much money as they humanly possibly can. And a lot of these taxes, by the way, some of these new taxes that have been implemented, the politicians that you voted in don't even have to pay them. So not only are they going to take $300,000 a year home, they're not even paying the taxes. They're exempt. Tell me what you think about this Labor government, where you think having them in power and having them taxing every hard-earned dollar you make just so they can control where your money goes is supporting you. Tell me how you not being able to go on a holiday is them supporting you. Tell me how them controlling how much where you can go to the doctors because I need that rebate, or them doing this or them doing that is supporting you. Labor government doesn't want to support you, they want to support them. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.